Heading levels go all the way down to H6, and for each one of those heading levels, by default, they change font size. Let's add a new paragraph. After H3, this one will say, you should use H1 to H6 headings if the content is truly a heading. Do not just use it just because you like the different sizes. To illustrate that, let's go ahead and do H1 down to H6. This is a size 1 heading. The next one we'll do H2 and say this is a size 2 heading, and so on. Or size 5. Finally, size 6. Save that and refresh our preview. And as I mentioned in the paragraph before this, as you go down from H1 to H6, the font size changes. Now, the only reason you should be using an H1 all the way to an H6 heading is because it is a heading. If you want something to look this small, but it's not a heading, don't use it. What you should do instead is create a style sheet, a CSS rule that will make it that size if it's not a heading. And we'll get to that when we start learning about CSS. That wraps up this line break section. We have 2 more sections and then a final note. Next portion will be an unordered list section. And this one would be a subheading to a simple sample web page. So we're going to use the H2 heading. This is unordered lists. Whoops, that's not spelled right. Unordered lists. An unordered list, as its name suggests, is a list where the order in which you display it does not matter. By default, it will be displayed as bullet points. And the code for that is an opening UL to begin, UL for unordered list. And then we'll do a closing UL tag. And then inside, for each bullet point, we will use an opening LI for list item or line item. Here's my opening and closing LI. And we'll just say item 1 for the first one. Then for the next bullet point, it's another opening closing LI tags. We'll say item 2. Finally, let's do a third list item. We'll call it item 3. Save that, refresh. By default, an unordered list will display as a bulleted list. Now again, you only want to use this unordered list for bulleted points where the order does not matter. The next one, we'll start a new H2, would be ordered list. Now this is when order matters. It could be like a step-by-step instruction, a recipe, or whatever. Just it's to where it matters what order it's in. By default, it will be displayed using numbers instead of bullet points, but you can make it into A, B, C, and so on. It's really similar to unordered lists, and really the only difference would be the opening and closing tags. In this case, we're going to use OL for ordered lists. So there's an opening OL and a closing OL, but then the LI structure is the same. For each list item or a line item, you put it inside a closing, an opening, and closing LI tag. Let's save that, refresh, and here is our ordered list with numbers. All right, so down to the last point for our final note. We'll do a H2 for that. Final note. Paragraph. For the final note, we will say that when viewing this HTML file in a web browser, all elements are displayed at the default setting. And I already kind of touched on that. There are spaces before and after headings and paragraphs. That's what you're seeing here. Everything is in Times New Roman and is to the left of the browser window. Everything's left aligned. Each list item is aligned by itself. And all hyperlinks are blue and underlined. Let me just copy and paste that since I already have all this information and fix a couple of typos here. Okay, so that concludes this simple sample web page. Your web page should look just like this. And now your next step is to go to Blackboard, look at Lab 1B, and see what else you need to do with this before you turn it in.